Good morning, sunshine.
Good morning. How you doing?
Great day.
Apparently, I got a couple more sessions before you go to the vet. They just let me know that actually yesterday, or day before yesterday.
Yeah, I sent Allie an email too, and I was like, because you had sent me one, and I was like, well, can you check on this? Because she knows all those things.
Yeah, for sure. So she called me right back, and I'm saying, I just got to send an email. So.
Oh, amazing. Good. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I'm glad. So you've got a few more left for now.
I got 2 more left, so probably today and Tuesday, and then we'll see if veterans approve. So what I might do after that is maybe go once a week for the 20 sessions or whatever it may be.
Okay, cool. Yep. I know like that's kind of what John and Andre do. They're with Veterans Affairs, and they kind of just have like unlimited access now.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so it's definitely possible through VAC. So
yeah. Ali said that I think the original is 20 sessions.
Yeah, but then what they do is kind of like share the fee with physio. If you like don't need physio, they'll send you to yoga instead, and it just gets billed through something different. But because I'm kind of under the bubble of the OTs and the physios anyway, that they kind of just, I mean, you get a lot of coverage through VAC as it is, so they just try to like maximize it so that you don't have to pay it.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. So you're doing your great.
Well, this is my mom's house actually. They're at the camp today, but we're over. What's the house? How do I show you the beach? Yeah, so the beach is down there.
What beach is that?
Well, that's our private beach, but it's on Kelly Creek, out Masrow Settlement area.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is my stepdad's home. He built it like 42 years ago, but I've got kind of like a veteran room in the house because I come out here so much. Hi, Jean.
Morning.
Pardon?
Good. No, I say I'll go mute these other guys there.
Oh, that's okay. I'm still waiting. I should have at least 2 more coming on. So I changed the time, so I think maybe I missed. I know Rose came on a bit late. Yes, or Tuesday. She came on at like 20 after 10, and I was like, eh. So hopefully she got the memo for today.
Yeah, good.
Cool. Morning, Rose. Oh, lost her.
Can you hear me?
I can now. How are you?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
That's okay. I'm glad you got on though. That's good. Sorry you were a bit late there on Tuesday. I changed the time, but maybe it didn't get translated.
I actually I didn't say that. I looked at the schedule. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's fine. At least you got a little bit in. Yeah.
I'm not good at this at all.
You're doing great. You know, I say this to my mother. I say it's all about your attitude. So if you're, my mom's always like, I'm so bad at it. You just do it. I was like, well, Mom, you have to. If you never like, if you always say you're bad at it, you're always gonna be bad at it.
So I can a lot of the instructions that you do I done as part of my PT when I was in the military, but right now my body's so stiff I can't even get into the position, right?
Okay.
But that's why I'm finding I'm really not finding I get a lot of. That's not your fault. It's my body's fault.
No. But I guess on that note, so my advice would be just take breaks, right? Yeah. And if you can't do multiple like repetitions, just like hold the version that works for you. So let's say like you're opening your arm out to the side, but let's say you can only get your arm to like here. Yeah. So then you just stay there and breathe. And that's the breath is more important than anything else. And I know it's very frustrating, and it honestly is a bit harder for me to teach as well when we're not in person, just because then I can't give you really good cues as well as I can when we are in class in a studio setting.
Yeah, I've always in the past you'll be saying, "Oh my God, you're horrible."
No, trust me. Like I've seen it all. So this is my example. I always say that I've seen the worst of the worst. I saw this old man in a pair of running shorts one day, and he goes up against the wall. And we're doing this like it's a hard pose, but he's in a pair of running shorts. He doesn't have underwear on underneath.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was terrible. And then he goes like this on the wall. And what hangs out of the bottom of the shorts? One of his ball sacks. And ever since that day, I've just like literally it doesn't matter how like quote unquote bad you are at yoga. The whole point is just to get there, be here, breathe a bit, and just be happy your ball sack didn't come out. Oh God. He was probably like 75 and he did not care at all. Anyway, it was fine. But now when I watch bodies and like, I think it's amazing how even with all the aches and pains that, you know, you guys have had, and I know that I've been, like I say, I have fitness privilege. Like I really haven't had many issues at this point, and I'm also younger. But I try to teach from this place of like knowing that I don't know what you're experiencing. Maybe just keep a positive mind about it and know that it's still helping you and it's still healing you, even if you can't do it all. Right? It's not about not being able to do it. It's more about just being here and trying and then breathing. And then if you can't do the pose, you just lay there and keep breathing, because that's the power of the trick of the mind that happens. They start to relax and open up to it a little bit more. Yeah. And it took me years. Like, honestly, I hated yoga for the first like 3 or 4 years. I hated holding my arms out. It was they were heavy. I would get mad at my teacher because she'd be like, do this. I'd be like, I don't want to do that. And maybe I was just spoiled rotten because I was like 17, but but yeah, so it takes time. And you know, maybe your normal for what your range of motion looks like is not the same as mine or as Denise's or Jean's or Steven's, but we're all just being present in our bodies and trying to soften a little bit and trying to feel a bit more easy about it. Anyway, I'll stop rambling, but hopefully that kind of can help you switch your mind a little bit about it. I think setting yourself up in the beginning of the class, like, oh, I can't do it, I'm bad at it. I think those are mental blocks that stop us from really being able to embrace this practice. So my favorite saying is, before you do anything, even if you don't know if you can do it, is say, I'm a sexy beast, and just do it anyway and just see what happens. And if it doesn't look good or doesn't feel good, you just stop. This is your practice. And that's a nice thing about this practice that I like and I find is really beneficial with the practice is that over time we start to take on this self-responsibility and the autonomy of movement. And then we say when it's too much and we stop. So just think of my cues as just suggesting things. And the one cue, the main cues to focus on are the breathing cues, the inhale, the exhale, and just softening, letting go of some of the tension. Anyway, hopefully that helped. We'll get started. Murphy's outside, so sometimes he guards us when we're outside, so hopefully he's quiet. But we did just run, so he should be good. And you might see my parents' cat crawl through the kitty door here at some point. But so we'll just start on our butts. And if you have a cushion to sit on, that's cool. You can cross your shins or even just straight legs. Or sometimes I recommend heels down, knees bent, and you can actually hold onto your legs a bit to try to sit up a little bit taller. I'm just trying to get rid of that kind of slumpy shape, more upright if possible. But anywhere comfy for you is fine. And just rest the hands near the legs or on the floor. And just for a moment, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Breathing in. And a full breath out. Inviting the mind to rest on the breath, away from any thought. Letting go of any desires to do this practice in any certain way. Just exploring through the body and breathing as our priority this morning. And we'll bring the feet into a long diamond-like shape like mine are in. So your heels are in front of you. They're not too close to you. So that kind of one we see a lot is this butterfly kind of stretch. But think of more of a diamond shape. And if your bum's up on a cushion, that should be fine. And you can hold your shins or sweep the hands under your shin. And just curl forward, rounding your back on purpose. Releasing your head. Fixing the gaze on one spot between the legs. Maybe the eyes close a bit. If turning the knees open creates any pain, try opening your legs more in a V shape and curling forward like that instead. Breathe in and breathe out. And then breathing in, sit tall, legs together straight in front of you. And you can bend your knees or with straight legs, we'll roll down onto the back. Circle the arms up and back over the head. Watching out for obstacles, of course. And just spread the arms wide to the sides. Now, if you need some space in the low back, you can take your feet wide, knees touch. And breathe in, reach the arms back. Breathe out, spread the arms wide. Circling the arms. Trying to let go of the effort. It's effortless effort. moving with ease in the body. Maybe your circles have a smaller range of motion, and that's cool. Just embrace it. Trying to feel the ease within the movement. And then reaching the arms down towards the legs first and then out to the thighs, just circling the other way for a few big circles. The breath moves continuously. And then arms rest down by your side. Feet parallel. They could be a little bit wider than your hips. So knees will kind of come in line with the hips and feet. And we'll just move through the low back. So bring your hands around your belly button. And breathe in to lift the low back away from the floor. Notice how the chin nods slightly. On the exhale, press your low back into the floor. The chin will lift slightly. Inhale, lifting the low back slightly off the mat. Exhale, pressing your low back into the mat. We'll start to kind of find this little extension as the low back lifts and the flexion as you press the low back into the floor. And when I do that, I can feel kind of some power, strength from my legs. And then the knees traveling forward a bit. Try to let go of the effort. Again, moving with ease this morning. Now, if this feels like enough for you, just continue for about 5 more. Now, if you'd like to go a little further, bring your feet in, press your hands beside you on the mat, and then first press your low back into the floor and roll up just to the base of the shoulders, and then roll back down. So we're just kind of moving from below your bra or bro line to the hip, the sacrum. So rolling up, pressing the low back down, your belly is strong, rolling up, and then rolling back down. Try about 3 more. Again, you can keep your hips grounded and just move through the low back. Fine. Last 2, breathing in to roll. Engaging the core, strong leg. Rolling back down. And last one. Lifting low back, maybe press it down and lift your hip. Exhale to come all the way back down. And just move in any way you need to. So you might let the knees straight side to side. You might take your feet wide again, knees touch, breathe into your belly. Belly rises and falls. Keep the chin slightly lifted off the chest and reach the arms up, palms face each other. Hold opposite elbows or forearms. Look to the right and pull the arms just across the chest to the right. So try to avoid them going over the neck, a little lower, and then over. And breathe, lifting that left shoulder blade away from the mat. Letting the breath do the work. 5 deep breaths. 1. 2, coming out if you need to, for 3. You need to take it a little bit more passive. Stretch the right arm out, palm faces up. The left arm just drapes across the chest. For 4. And 5, bring the arms back up, palms facing each other. Hold the elbows or forearms, turn the head to the left. Bring your left elbow down, or even just stretch the arms out. The idea is just to get a little bit of space between that right shoulder blade and the spine. It gently lifts off the floor and breathe. 1, 3, 4, and 5. Bring your head and arms back to center. Hands stretch out beside you. Hug your right knee in. Hold your hamstring. Option to keep the left knee bent or straighten the leg. Whatever works for you. Breathe in and stretch through the left leg. Press through the, or right leg, sorry. Press through your heel. On the exhale, point your foot and bend your knee. Inhale, straighten and flex. Exhale, point and bend. Inhale, straighten and flex. Exhale, point and bend. Now again, bending that long leg if the low back feels any pain, strain, or pressure. Just continue to stretch through the right leg. Letting the foot move as well. Using the inhale to straighten the leg and the exhale to bend your knee. Next time the leg straightens, circle the ankle. And then switch directions. And draw the knee in towards the chest. Hold the shin if you can. And this time, try straightening your left leg long, but point your foot and squeeze your bum. And pull that knee in. Keep stretching through right toes, left toes. I did the wrong leg, so I'm all messed up. Doesn't really matter though. And then just let the knee drop into straight arm. Good, and gently open your knee out to the side. Now your leg could stay straight on the floor, or you could bend it and open it to the side, creating space across your hips. And think of breathing into your low belly, into your pelvis. So letting the belly fill up on the in-breath and let go on the out-breath. Breathe in and fill. Breathe out and let go. Breathe in and fill up. Breathe out and let go. Last one, breathe in. Breathe out and let go. Bring that knee back to center and switch your legs. So starting, left knee comes in, hold the back of the leg. Right knee is bent or straight. And inhale to straighten your left leg. Exhale to point the foot and bend your knee. Inhale, straighten and flex. Exhale, point and bend. Inhale, straightening and flexing. Pointing and bending. Warming up the back of the leg and the back of the hip. Just a few more with your own breath. And then straightening your legs, start to circle the ankle a few times. In one direction, and then switch the directions after a few. Try not to overthink it. I always find one ankle is a bit more chatty than the other. This is not abnormal. And then slowly hug that knee in, and you could keep the right leg bent or try straightening it, pointing the foot. Just getting a little bit more length through that right top side of the hip.
Pointing the right foot, hugging the left knee in. It doesn't matter how far it comes in, just pulling it into a place of comfort for you. And breathe there. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5. Gently, option, keep the right leg long or bend it again. And we'll open the left knee to the left, opening your right knee to the right. And breathe here, breathing deep into the belly, letting it rise on the in-breath and fall on the out-breath. I'd say in most people, this area is pretty tight. Last 2 big belly breaths. And then breathe in, bring your legs back to center. And take your time to roll over onto your right side. Now, if you wanted to stack your pillow under your head, that's fine. Just bringing it up so your head's more in line, or rest it down if that feels okay. Knees are at about hip height, arms stacked, legs stacked. And just pause here for a breath. So we'll move for a few, and of course, if you want to just keep the breath length movement, that's fine. But we'll, after about 3 opening and closing here, we're going to just stay and breathe into it. So don't worry about landing in a certain position. So on the in-breath, the left arm comes back behind you. We're searching for the floor. Exhale, hands come back to touch. And try to let go of any rigidity or the feeling of being stuck in the legs. So the natural movement in any twist actually is initiated from your hips. So the hips kind of fall back and then you can open more easily. So just kind of explore that. Sometimes the body feels as though it's super glued together. Yoga is a way of unsticking you. Getting all the gunk out from years and years of moving or holding yourself in the same way. Option to stay in the open shape or continue to move. 5 more deep breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Slowly bring yourself back onto your right side. If your head's on a pillow, you could probably just stay there. If you need or like to, you can bring your right arm up and over. And if that creates any pain in the shoulder, the pillow option is probably a bit better. And we'll stack the legs, stack the torso, and lift the low side body off the floor a bit. So we just don't want to be collapsed. You want to stay active through the core. The belly gets tight, kind of like sucking it in like you're trying to fit a pair of pants that don't fit anymore because of COVID-19. Just kidding. And we'll lift the top knee up to the ceiling and then send it back a bit and just circle it. So try not to overthink it too much. Just think of staying steady through the points of contact on the floor and circling your lifted left leg or top left leg. And your circle might be tight and tiny, and that's cool. But over time with practice, we look to find a larger circle, maintaining the stability in the core. And then we'll just switch the directions of that circle. If it's a small circle, that's fine. If it's a big circle, that's fine. Just keep moving and try to stay aware of the torso region. You know, there will be a little bit of kind of jiggling, especially if your circle is quite large. And that's okay, but just try to stay connected to the belly muscles. Good, and then bring the knee down and we'll pause. Take a breath. Try placing left hand in front of you and straightening your left leg towards the wall. So kind of as though you're standing, but you're on your side, that's it. And squeeze your bum, good. And then reach, place the left foot down as an option and reach the right arm over your head. So you could get a little side body stretch here. Or if you want to work a little bit more active, controlled core, hover the leg, squeeze the bum, and hover the arm over the hip, and just pause and breathe, holding steady for 1, 2. Remember, this is just an option. You can always take the more peaceful version on the floor for 3, 4, and 5. Exhale, knees stack, left hand in front of you, and we'll roll over, taking your time to the other side. So just take your time to get there and do a little spin move so I'm not butt to you. And resting your head on a pillow if you need to again. Stacking the arms and the legs, resting on left side body this time. Good. And then breathing in, opening that right arm back. Shoulder towards the floor over time. Exhale, hands come back to touch. Breathe in and open up. Imagine as though the body is moving smoothly, like you're moving through the water. Exhale, hands touch. Breathe in and open. Breathe out to close, rolling back onto your side. Option to pause in the open shape or keep moving. 5 deep breaths. Slow, steady breathing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hands come back to touch. Good. Pause for a breath. Take your time to set up for our hip circles. And bring the bottom arm over your head if you'd like, or stack on the pillow. Stack the hips and try to lift that side body slightly off the floor. So you're engaging through the core. And then right hand in front of you. Circle that top leg and just try to stay still in the rest of the body. Maybe you start with a tight and tiny circle, or maybe big and wide over time. Could gradually grow as you circle the knee. And this hip very well could tire faster than the other one because it was stabilizing you on the other side. And then just switch the directions for about 3 or 4 circles, whatever width or range is accessible for you today. Taking rest when you need it. And then resting your top leg down. Couple of options. Option 1, straighten your right leg long, flex the foot and hold it up parallel to the floor, or lower it to the floor. Notice how you get a little lengthening in the outer hip. Try reaching your right arm over your head, either stretching back or resting the hand on the floor, and we'll hold either position, letting the breath do the work. For 1, take rest when you need it. 2, 3, strong bum, lift the tummy slightly. 4, and 5. Exhale, hands down, knees down, and take a pause. Exhale completely. Whew. So you're supposed to feel that one in your hips. So if you are, then that's great. Oh. These are your hip stabilizers, which for a lot of us are asleep most of the time. So when you're ready, we're gonna come up onto your hands and knees. I didn't say that, but Sean did it. And then spread your hands wide so that your index finger lines up with that long edge of your mat. So you're kind of turning the hands open a little bit rather than in too much. And when the hands open, the chest lifts. It's all connected. So on the exhale, belly strong, reach your right arm forward. And hold. Option, tuck your toes and lift just your left knee off the floor. 1, 2, belly strong. 3, 4, 5, plant the hand and knee, switch sides. So a tendency is that the belly kind of drops when you start to lift, but that feels like crap on your low back, right? So keep it lifted, pull the belly in. So I'd rather it be rounded more the other way than dropping towards the floor. So if it helps you to lift up a little higher and round more, that's cool. Reach your left arm forward. If that feels okay and you feel strong, lift your right knee as well. Hold and breathe. So pushing into the floor, lifting away from it for 1, 2, steady like you could balance a cup of coffee on your back for 3, 4, and 5. Good job. Press into your hands, pull your tummy in, lift your knees up, and walk your hands back in towards your feet. Good. And we'll turn the feet open and just rest your hands in front of you on the mat, or even hold your elbows and let your head go. So if your hands are way in front of you, you can let your head release. You should feel some weight in your heels there. Your knees can be quite bent, or you can do more of a standing fold with straight, feet straight, hands heavy. Usually the more bend in the knees, the more release through the hips and low back. So don't be shy to bend the knees. And then breathe in to walk your hands out, knees to the floor again. If you need padding, feel free to use a blanket or lift the mat up a bit. Good. This time, exhale to round your back. And inhale to reach your right arm open to the side. Good. And circle that top arm a few times in one direction. So I like my palm to face the floor most of the time, except for kind of when it comes up here. And that just helps the shoulder move optimally in the joint. Your circle, just like the legs, could be small or large, whatever feels good. Switch directions for a couple. And then plant that hand. Same thing, other side. Turn the chest slightly. Strong tummy. Circling the arms. One direction. Switching directions when you're ready. Of course, my neighbor would start the lawnmower. Hopefully it's not too loud. Good, and then we'll lower the hands and lie down onto the belly. Bend the elbows and lower down. Just turn your cheek and reach your arms back towards your legs. So you're just kind of lazy here. A little wiggle of the bum. I'll just speak up a bit. Hopefully the background noise isn't too bad. Some things we can't control, right? But most things, in my experience so far. Breathe in and breathe out. And then gently just turn the head the other way. Just a little release for the neck and shoulders. Might not feel like much, and that's okay. Just a couple more breaths. And then we'll bring the forehead to the middle. So it helps if you really tuck your chin here. And we'll bring the hands under your shoulders. Tuck your chin a lot so that the top of your head touches the floor. I kind of think like hairline if you have one. I think one of you might not have much of a hairline in the front end. And just practice letting the shoulders drop to the mat and then lift up. So they drop down, and then you squeeze the shoulder blades, draw the elbows in, and lift the shoulder heads away from the floor. So drop and lift. And if you need to kind of play around with the arm position a bit, maybe the hands go wider, maybe they go back, maybe they come up a bit more. Just try different positions of the hands, to drop and lift your shoulder. Next time the shoulders lift up, push into the heels of the palms and see if you can lift your head and your chest. Strong upper back. So only the heels of the palms are on the floor. Elbows squeeze in like chicken wings. Shoulders are away from the ears. Exhale, lower. We'll just add in a better position for the legs. So knees wide, heels touch. Press into your hands. Lift the shoulders first, and then pull back to lift your chest. So your knees don't have to come up, you're just pressing your heels together. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift the shoulders first, and then lift the chin, maybe the head. Beautiful. Exhale down. By all means, if you want to lift your hands up and really engage the upper back, go for it. Exhale down. Last one, inhale, lift up. This time we'll hold it. Option to lift the arms. 1. Press your knees into the floor, heels together. 2. 3. Try to find ease in the shape. 4. And 5. Exhale down. Release the arms and just let your legs drop left to right, right to left. This is also the type of neighbor that Moses lawn at like supper time on a Sunday evening for the last 4 years. So, yeah. To be expected. And then from here, we'll move into child's pose, hands under your shoulders, push yourself away from the floor. Knees can go wide, and you can either set your bum back towards the feet if flexibility's there, or your bum's more over your knees and you just try to drop your forehead down. This is called puppy strap. And then bring your hands in and walks. Come up to your knees or your feet. So we're gonna do something you're not gonna like, but most of us need to do anyway. Okay, so this is planks. We're gonna do a front plank and side planks, and I'll give you some modifications too, okay? You can do these from your forearms, which sometimes is easier. I actually find them harder on my forearms, so everybody's different. But some people find it easier. Or straight arms. You can do it from your knees or your toes. Okay, and I'll show you lots of options today. So from your all fours, round your back, pull your tummy away from the floor. So sometimes we think about just kind of whatever's touching the floor is kind of what's holding you up. And then you let gravity let go of the rest of the body, and that's really inefficient. So we want to lift up, push into the mat, and then step one leg back, lift your knee, then the other one. Good. Now if that's too much, you're just going to lower your knees, but see if you can find a ramp-like shape in your body, still lifting up from the belly button, and push into the floor, kind of like you're pushing a truck that's stuck in the mud. And we'll hold it. You can lower to your elbows if that feels better. 2, 3, lift the tummy, 4, and 5. Good. And then lower your knees, press back up onto your hands for a moment. Just kind of move if you need to, shake the bum, roll the shoulders. And then side plank. So I'll show the modification first. So from your hands or your elbows, totally up to you. I'm going to demonstrate from my hands. You're going to spin your legs towards the left and straighten your right leg. Then reach your right arm up. And this might be modified. This is modified side plank. If you want to test the circuitry a bit, belly stays drawn in and you hover the back leg off the floor. 1, push down and lift up. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Plant your hands. Shake out your bum. Good. There's definitely things you've done worse for longer, right? And then we'll do the other side. So I think your left arm comes up this time. So feet spin back to the right, and then straighten your left leg out, reach your left arm up. So notice how I'm not collapsing into my shoulder. I'm lifting up from my waist. So push down to lift up. That's it. You might hover the back leg, or if you want to go a little bit further, feeling strong, you can straighten both legs and stagger them. Squeeze the bum. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you sit on the bottom. Take your time to get there. Lower your knees, land your feet, land your seat, pardon me. Then we'll just do a little simple twist before we lay down for rest. And when you're resting, I'll mute myself so you don't have to listen to the lawnmower. Bend your left knee in, left upper arm inside the leg, right hand back behind you. Just look over that back shoulder. Breathing deeply. Try twisting the other way if you'd like. So wrapping your left arm around the right knee. But only if that feels good. switching legs, look center. Left knee in, left upper arm to inner thigh. Twisting back towards the right. Inhale, twisting towards the left. As an option, you can also stay in the other position. Inhale to look center. We're going to control our lower down, but we'll get ready for Shavasana. So, John, you did this yesterday. Turn your legs open. So your toes turn out, your heels press together, and your bum squeezes. So even though you're sitting, you're squeezing your bum. And that kind of feels funny, but that's something you can maybe practice this week. When you're seated, can you engage your muscles of the butt? Looks like I'm kind of riding a horse. Anyway, so feet turn out, bum squeezes, and you're going to reach forward. On the exhale, round the back, pull your tummy in. And I want you to roll down enough that you start to really feel the belly pull in. And once you find your maximum, you're just going to hold it. For 1, 2, belly pulls in, chest lifts up a bit, heels press together, bum squeezes. So many things to think about. 4, feel the abs work. 5, sit up, turn your feet in. Good, and then you can bend your knees, or if you want to test yourself a little bit, roll down in slow motion, 1 vertebrae at a time. Keeping those same connections, belly, bum, and heels, and then lie back, opening up, stretching out wide, finding a resting shape for now. Try to let go of all the theories and the techniques and just let the body breathe.